I'm starting to think the whole entire internet thing was a mistake, and that the majority of people, they can't seem to contain themselves and act properly because of this. It's a big distraction where everybody can just, pretend to be whoever they want. They could go anonymous, and then that, let alone, has enough problems. I could be here for days on days literally talking about the subject of how many problems are occurring with the internet, but that would be, kind of boring and also unneeded. I'm sure you could figure that out for yourself. But right now, we have a really, really disgusting trend that has hit the internet where people are licking product or they're messing with product in a really, really gross way. Maybe like beverages or something like mouthwash, and they're putting it back on the shelf, therefore contaminating the product. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this trend got started exactly, but one of the first videos that I saw was a really popular video that went around. It definitely got over like 11 to 12 million views, so it was very, very popular. Right now, it probably has way over that because of the news that came out. Now, this is involving a woman and I think it's her boyfriend that are in a Texas Walmart. So they go in there, they're by the ice cream aisle, and they thought it would be a good idea to get, well, not together, but basically, this is what happened. So there's a girl, and she gets a Bluebell ice cream. It has like the tin roof or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what flavor, but she gets this ice cream. She takes off the top, which for some reason does not have like a plastic cover or anything like that. I don't buy anything that doesn't have a plastic cover, and I also don't buy like a drink in a glass container unless I could hear it pop from the lid above. I mean, there are certain things that I just won't buy because I know how the packaging will be. Certain packaging that doesn't have plastic on the top. I mean, you could kind of figure that out. But she gets the ice cream and she licks the whole entire top, and then she puts the lid back on it, and she's on video too while she's doing this, and then puts it back into the freezer, where the whole entire time during the video you can hear whoever it is, like her boyfriend or her friend, encouraging her to do that. So now people have found out about that because the video got out, and she's facing 2 to 20 years in, prison, or I think she's a juvenile, so maybe she's getting tried as like a kid, which is, a lot better, so she's going to be treated as a minor and probably have much of a lower sentence, maybe like a year, 6 months or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but probably is not even going to be up to 2 years. Not only is what she did absolutely disgusting, but it also makes me worry about the future. It really, really does, because of people, like what they'll do for attention to get likes, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatever it is, literally any social media site at this point. People will do crazy things for attention, and I just don't know how the future is going to be. I feel like a lot of mistakes are going to be made, if you know what I mean. After doing this unintelligent stunt, she's not only facing, 2 to 20 years or a year or whatever that may be at the moment, but also up to $10,000 for a fine. On top of all that, Bluebell Ice Cream had to literally do a recall on all their tin roof half-gallon ice creams because they didn't know which one it is. For example, like how are they going to know? They can't just go by security footage or by the person's word. So let's say that the girl said, yeah, this is the ice cream that I had actually, but then she doesn't really remember. Like how would she remember? She left the store without paying for it. So nobody knows what ice cream that was. They had to do a major recall, get it all out of that store in Texas, and probably even, maybe even other stores in other states because of other copycat stunts that could have happened. And it's a good thing that they did that because, like, a few days later, these two guys, they go inside of a grocery store. I think that they're teenagers, but literally, okay, whatever. They're inside of a store. They go towards the freezers, and they're taking out handful scoops of ice cream, like sharing it together out of an ice cream, then they put it back inside of the freezer. All of a sudden they get home later on, or like one of them gets home, the guy that posted the video online, and he said that the cops came to his house. So he probably ended up getting, maybe a charge for stealing the food or, contaminating product, maybe had a slap on the wrist. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he ended up getting caught. And I'm sure whatever store that they stole from is banning them completely from buying anything for at least a few years. And if there's, if it's like a local grocery store and they have other grocery stores in the area, they could literally be banned from, 3 or 4 different grocery stores. Who knows? Then this trend gets even worse. Like, I'm just talking about the minor things, just ice cream, okay? Somebody gets mouthwash, and I think that this is totally fake, obviously, because they have like a picture afterwards, which I'm about to explain, which kind of proves that it's fake. But like, okay, basically this person, they do this whole strut thing too, where they're strutting in an aisle and they're acting all sassy and whatnot, and they grab a mouthwash, they start gargling from an open Listerine, and then they spit it back. But they also didn't take off like the plastic container thing or whatever from it, so it was already open, meaning that it had to be there already open, which is kind of weird. Maybe they found it open, but I think that they ended up taking off the plastic off of it so that, it was easier for them to open when they're doing the little gargle thing. But anyways, so they get the mouthwash, they gargle it, they spit the gargle back into the mouthwash, and then put it back onto the shelf. Now this is all filmed, of course, like every other stunt. And when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. I was so upset. I was like, this is disgusting. I can't believe this. What if someone picked that up? But then I started scrolling down their timeline, and I noticed, because it's off Twitter where they were posting it, at least, or, where I saw that. It could have been off of YouTube. It could have been off of anywhere. But I saw off of Twitter. And off of their Twitter, they also had another picture for the person that posted the mouthwash where they're holding the receipt. Even though they're holding the receipt and they're holding the Listerine, they can prove that it wasn't real. In the video, other people, they might not go to their Twitter and see that, it was a total joke. They think in their mind that it's real. Maybe they'll go do that. And that's not a good trend to start. You cannot be doing something like this. And of course, I thought this was gonna stop, but no, it doesn't stop. America is not like that. Look at how long Minions lasted for. So no, this trend is going on and on and on, and people are getting arrested, literally. Like, it's horrible, but also they're very stupid for doing something like this. So there's another girl that was licking ice cream, and now she's in trouble too. She was seen on camera licking this ice cream like 10 times, and she was in the aisle for literally minutes. Like, it did not make any sense at all. People, I do not understand them, and trying to get attention at all, I do not get it. There is definitely other ways to do that in a better light than contaminating product at a grocery store and trying to risk everything, really. I mean, you could go to jail for a long time doing this. Now, a guy, I guess he decided to also copy the girl or copy someone else he saw, and he ended up licking ice cream. Now, he faked it. He bought the ice cream afterwards, and he actually didn't really, leave it on the shelf. And that ended up not going well because he ended up getting in trouble for that, arrested. He went back to the grocery store to try to, prove it. He had the receipt. He could actually prove it too, and he did prove it, but it still didn't matter because he still faked the crime and recorded it, and he staged it. And when he put the ice cream back, who knows if he actually really did get the right ice cream, so that started another recall. And it gets worse because a guy decided to go into an aisle where all these beverages are, and he gets a sweet tea Arizona, not just like a can or not just like, one of those bottles, but he gets one of the gallon containers, opens it up, and starts spitting in it, and then closes it and puts it back on the shelf. That's really, really gross too. I don't know if it's equivalent, like on the scale of how gross all the other stuff is, but to me, this one I would think, goes number one out of all the disturbing stuff with this trend. Then the last one I wanted to mention, because literally there's so many people doing this trend, would be a girl that got soda and she started drinking the soda, then she closed that and put the soda back into the cooler, so that was very disgusting too. I think the major problem is that people rely on likes and attention from social media to make them feel better about themselves, and I think this is why people are doing something like this, because they know that they'll get the clicks, they'll get the views, and all the attention that they think that they want. But in the end, if you ever think about doing something really stupid like this, or you think that you need the attention, you're double thinking. You're like, maybe if I do this, I could get in trouble for something that you're posting on social media. Then don't do that. It's not worth it. It's not worth attention over your well-being or going to jail, having fines, having a felony. Attention, it comes and goes. You're not always going to be number one anyway, so what's the worth? It doesn't matter. It's just like money. You spend it and then it goes away. Or like food, I mean, you eat it and it goes away. That's how attention works. But when you have a felony, that can stay. If you have a record, that can stay. And also, if you have $10,000 to pay in fines and you're not, you don't have any money, that's hard. If you ever heard 15 minutes of fame, it's like with the internet, you have about 30 seconds. On that note, I'm gonna head out, but I'm gonna have another video coming very shortly. There's a lot of videos on my channel if you wanna go check them out, so I'll check you next time.